And all week long, I kept getting phone calls and texts from Travis Bell.
That's how we do it in the South.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. It's like kindergarten today here at the RUC. It's show and tell. But before I show you my item I brought from home today, I want to tell you about my weekend last weekend. I've been going to car shows virtually my entire life, and I love car shows. Hell, for Christ's sakes, we got a Vic company that puts them on. I love car shows. Mini truck shows, lowrider shows, old man car shows, boomer Corvette shows. I love them. I love car shows. I love car show people. I have a good time. These are my people. Car shows are like my element. But I had a blast this past weekend. You know, I don't get to compete in car shows very often. You know, sometimes I'll get a few minutes and I'll get a little break in the action. I'll be able to run to a car show. But as far as getting a car ready and going, and it was so nice. You know, we planned this out ahead of time. You know, I saw it pop up. Matter of fact, Travis Bell, of all people, actually sent me the link to it when it was coming to town. Radwood 2023 in Charlotte. You know, Radwood's all 80s, 90s. You know, it's nationwide. They have them everywhere. And I'm like, dude, I want to go to Radwood. Travis Bell wanted to go. And Travis was so stoked. Travis is like, man, we got to book rooms. We got to go to this. And it's so cool because, like, it's so weird how inventory is here at the RUC. You know, you got cars coming in and out all the time. Well, this is an 80s, 90s car show. What do you take? Well, of course, the ultimate 90s show truck, old Peach Pit. We took it to Radwood, or we were going to take this thing to Radwood. And you got to understand, this truck was built in 1996. It was in Sport Truck Magazine in 97 and literally was stored from like 98, 99 to last year when I bought it. And we took it out for a few drives and cruise around in it, but we really haven't showed Peach Pit, like showed it. And, on camera, it's real easy to make things look good. I know a lot of you guys seen some of these cars on video and then you see them in person, like, oh my God, that thing's a little rough, or man, that's not as nice as you thought it would be. But Peach Pit is that truck that's probably nicer in person than it is on camera. Like, this truck is literally a time capsule. And it's so special. I love it. Of course, I got a soft spot in my heart for OBS trucks in general. But this one, you got to think, those 90 show trucks is what paved the way for OBS trucks, which is by far the hottest market right now in collector cars is OBS trucks. Moving on, though. Travis Bell's stoked. And all week long, I kept getting phone calls and texts from Travis Bell. He's like, look at the weather report. They're calling for 70% of rain. It's going to be like the second coming. It's raining like crazy. It's going to rain. It's going to rain. It's going to rain this show out. I said, Travis, my truck has a top. We're taking it in an enclosed trailer up there. It's not going to hurt it to get wet. Naturally, I would love for it to be pretty weather, but I was just excited to go to the show, a rainy day or not. And Travis backs out. Of course, Travis was taking his Geo Tracker, which granted, a rainy day in a Geo Tracker is no fun at all. So, Kobe Kai, we get to work on this thing. Me and Kobe Kai cleaning it up and just knocking the dust off of it, just getting it just dialed in just right. And we get to the show, or we get to Charlotte. We always have a great time up in Concord area. Got a lot of friends up that way. And I went out Friday night, had a good time, and then Saturday morning, bright and early show. So I had to be there at 7 a.m. with this thing. And, I haven't been showing at a car show in a long time, so me getting up at 7 or 6 o'clock in the morning to go to a car show, but it's so crazy. I used to get so excited about going to these things. And it's so funny, like, I'll never forget. I literally came down, and Kobe was already downstairs. We were having breakfast at the hotel, and walking down like we were pumped. We were ready to go. So we unload Peach Pit right quick. It's cloudy, no rain. We drive into Hendricks, and great facility to have a car show. We've hosted several car shows up there, so this was a great place for the event. And we pull up with Peach Pit, and then next thing you know, you've got 80s and 90s cars coming out of the woodwork. And the thing that's crazy was the quality of cars there. You got to think, with any car show, really and truthfully, about 20% of them are heavy hitters. You got a lot of filler. You got a lot of cars that aren't show cars. These guys are just there. They're hanging out, whatever. And then you got your diehards. I'm going to be honest with you. Probably 70% of this field was diehards, in my opinion. I mean, hundreds of cars. And I'm talking about not just like really clean Ford Escorts and Cavaliers and whatever, but there was Ferrari Testarossas. There were like 3 of those there. There was a Lamborghini Jumpa, I think is what you call it. It's the one before the Countach with the gold wheels on it. I've never seen one of these cars in person. That was there. And, and all these just super nice, I mean, not even like exotic, but just super nice examples. I mean, there's probably one of the nicest Monte Carlo SSs I've ever seen in my life, like a G-body Monte Carlo SS. And, there was a guy there, he actually watches the channel, super cool guy, we talked for a little bit. Gorgeous black GTA Trans Am. And I mean, these things are like perfect. And I'm like, damn, we might have brought a knife to a gunfight, Kobe. And I mean, just all kinds of cool stuff there. And we're walking around, and it's so funny because these are cars from my childhood. And you got everybody dressing up and all the 80s and 90s stuff. And Travis Bell's blowing my phone up because he is so pissed because he missed Radwood. The weather was nowhere near as bad as he thought it was going to be. And he's over here on the phone. And we were having a great time. You got a cup of coffee, walking around, just hanging out. Met a lot of people that watch the channel. And we were just having a blast. And we walked back to the truck. There's a little purple sticker that says, "Stick around." On the windshield, the Peach Pit. That's kind of cool. Hey, we might have got something, tackiest truck, whatever. And we're sitting there, and the awards were like 2 o'clock. Well, next thing you know, I have a guy walks up to me, he goes, "Hey," he goes, "I need you to do me a big favor." He said, "I need you to pull your truck up around out front. You want an award." I'm like, "Man, that's awesome. That's neat. Everybody likes to win." And so we fired old Peach Pit up. Dr. Dre playing. Boom, boom, boom. Pulling around. Perfect 3/4 shot right in front of Rick's museum. And, we get out, we're standing there, we're having a good time. And they do the awards. And they only give out like 5 awards. And, and I was ready for, something about trucks probably or something like that. Really and truthfully, because the quality of cars that were here. And, they do a big thing, like the best dressed, like the people that dress up in all the gear. And there was probably 50 people in line that, just went all out. And, it was a lot of fun. Music was great, too. Got a great DJ there. But we're standing there in line. Or not in line, but we're standing there watching everybody. And they started doing these awards, best import, or top rad import, and then they did top rad domestic. They did top rad truck, top rad car. And then they had raddest in show, their best in show. The top dog award was the very last award. And I'm standing there, and they said, probably the epitome of what Radwood is about. And they called out Peach Pit. Proud papa moment. You got to think, this is a truck that I bought sight unseen in California, standing on a picnic table in England. It's been shipped across the country. It hasn't been in the public view for 20-something years. Very first time you take it to a car show, it takes the top prize. That shows you the quality of this. These guys, and I've had several people, because we weren't really standing with the truck that much, we were walking around, but I had several people say, man, they were just like, judges kept looking at this thing, walking around it. You know, of course, in between the seats is the magazine, and I mean, the truck is virtually identical to that. Nothing has changed. And to win Radwood, like, I've always wanted to go to Radwood. You know, I see those videos, you know, Doug Tabbitt, everybody gets to go, and of course, Travis went to the one up his way too. I've never been. And the very first time I go to Radwood, I take home the gold. And I mean, that's the coolest thing. It's actually a cool trophy too. It's a two-piecer. Anyway, Radis's show. So that's my show and tell. You know, I'm not much of like a trophy whore guy, but this was kind of cool. Like, I really, like, that was awesome, man. Like, that was a great experience, and they put on a great show, great event too. But you know, it just goes to show you that this truck, just the quality of it, you know. And I preach this. I know I'm preaching to the choir. This is the craziest thing. It's not even for sale. That truck I don't have listed anywhere for sale. You know, and I had a couple people ask me, you know, like, what do you want to sell? And this was a funny part of this. So they wanted me to come up and talk about this truck. And, you know, I grabbed that mic. And, you know, I tell them all about, you know, built in Burbank, California, and the Sport Truck magazine, this and this and this, Corvette engine, yada, yada, yada. But I had to throw in a shameless plug. Keep in mind, this is the business I'm in. And I said, this is the thing, though. Everybody sees this truck and they see a 90 show truck that's absolutely a 9.9 out of 10 perfect. That's inventory at Rabbit's Used Cars. This is what we sell. And that's the truth, whether it be a $60,000, you know, C10 or a Beach Bug or a badass lifted Bronco with a 347 stroker motor in it. Like, I love that not only do we have good looking cars on video, these things take home the gold in real life, and I love it. So, you know, it was a great night. We all went out that night, went out to dinner, had a blast, celebrating our win. Me and old Kobe Kai. It was a great time. I had a blast, and everybody that came up, and there's a bunch of you guys. It was great meeting all of you. I'll tell you what. Now though, when they have Radwood again, it's like, what can we bring now? It's created a monster. Guess you'll have to stay tuned. Guys, we'll catch you next time at Rabbit's Used Cars.